So recently I went out to shoot some videos with the new Osmo Pocket 3 and the Mini 4 Pro with the latest firmware 01.00.0300 and the DJI Fly app 1.12.4. And one of the things I was most excited to test out was the new updated Active Track 360 and the new auto mode. So this mode will automatically create a dynamic tracking sequence by using follow and helix. So instead of having to manually adjust the position of which direction you want the drone to track you from, auto will basically create a dynamic tracking shot for you. And to be honest, I was really excited to test this because I had such a bad experience with Active Track back last year when I was traveling to Hawaii. And despite flying in minus 19 degrees Celsius, I was actually looking forward to this test. And as you can see here, it's currently winter, so there's no leaves on the trees, and if the Mini 4 Pro had one enemy, it would be smaller branches at a higher speed. So when I was testing these different tracking modes, I wanted to end this session with the auto option. And to begin with, everything went fine, but as soon as it switched from follow to helix, which is when the drone goes from the inner circle to the outer circle on the tracking wheel, the drone picked up some speed and the side sensors didn't manage to kick in before it was too late. Luckily, the drone managed to recover, and I must say I am extremely impressed with how this works. When you have a crash with the Mini 4 Pro or the Avata or any drone, how the drone can actually recover mid-air, even if it's upside down, and just flip around and just go into hover. It's just amazing how this technology works. Now, this is the exact same way I crashed my Mini 3 Pro last year when I was using a tracking, but the difference here is that the Mini 4 Pro does not have side sensors, so it was kind of obvious that this was going to happen. Now, looking at the sensors here, we can also see that the sensors were all available at the time of the crash. So when the sensors are not working or disabled, they will be all red like this. So in this case, the sensors were not the reason for the crash. But how did I manage to crash the Mini 4 Pro? What happened, and how can you avoid making the same mistake that I did? The first reason is that I used automated flight modes too close to objects. The second reason is that the sensors on the Mini 4 Pro has a hard time detecting small branches, and the third one is that the drone was flying faster and faster. So automated flight modes, in this case Active Track, in combination with auto mode and too close to objects, which in this case was a tree with small branches, is not a favorable scenario for the Mini 4 Pro. So basically, it was my own fault. But if you're a brand new drone pilot, and maybe you got the Mini 4 Pro for Christmas, and maybe you plan a trip for the year, but your biggest concern is to actually fly the drone, even though it has 360 degrees obstacle avoidance sensors, how can you avoid making the same mistakes? One of the biggest issues when it comes to flying a drone close to the environment is the environment itself, especially branches and objects that gives a strong reflection like water. So when you're out flying a drone and you want to use the automated flight modes, more specifically Active Track, it's really important to be aware of your surroundings and see if there is certain things in your path which can cause harm to your drone. But I also want to add that this is mostly an issue when you fly at a higher speed. So here we have a different clip, but it's the same scenario. I was tracking my wife and she started walking, and a small tree with a lot of branches appeared between her and the drone. But since I was going at a slower speed, the sensors were able to pick up on the obstacles. But when you're using Active Track 360 and it goes from follow to helix, helix will have a higher speed and go faster and faster to a certain point. And with higher speeds, we also get a longer travel distance as well as a longer brake distance from when the drone starts braking to the actual stop. So to prevent any accidents from happening, it's really important that you check your surroundings and make sure that you test the feature in an open field before you start using it to your advantage. This gives you a much better understanding of distance, speed, altitude, and how the drone actually behaves in a much better way than watching a YouTube video. But from the testing that I've done with the Active Track 360 after the latest firmware update, I can see there is some improvement from the release version. So the only thing now is to put this to the test and see if this could be something that I can benefit from when it comes to traveling. As of now, Waypoints has been my go-to for creating professional looking automated flight modes where I don't have to stare at the controller. So I'm really excited to test out the Active Track a little bit more and see how that works over time and if it's actually something that I can benefit from. But I hope this video helped if you just picked up the Mini 4 Pro, and I hope that you avoid making the same mistakes that I did by learning from this video. This was also the first crash that I had with the Mini 4 Pro, so now one with the Mini 3, one with the Mini 4, next one will probably be the Mini 5. Anyway, I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to drop a like down below. Also hit that subscribe button if you're brand new to this channel. You can find my Signature LUTs and free cheat sheets for the Mini 3 and 4 Pro down in the description below if you want to grab those. And with that said, thanks for watching, take care, and I'll catch you soon.